At the heart of any university is its library, which provides essential tools and services to all members of the university, from the newest undergraduate to the most senior professor. This is especially true here in Manchester, where in the John Rylands University Library we have one of the 3 largest academic libraries in Britain. It achieved its present form as recently as 1972, when the University Library merged with the world-famous John Rylands Library. Its origins, though, go back to the foundation of Owens College in 1851. The result of the 1972 merger is a library which has few equals in range, depth, and quality of stock. Our statistics are impressive. We have over 3 million printed volumes and nearly 750,000 titles in microform. We subscribe to about 6,500 current periodicals, and our shelving, if laid end to end, would extend for 31 miles. But figures don't tell the whole story. We hope in this video to go beyond the statistics and show you how, as a new library user, you can make the most effective use of the resources we have. When you enter the main library building, you will probably be struck by its size and by the wide range of activities going on at once. We have, however, signposted it very carefully to make life as easy as possible for you, and if you start with the signs at the main entrance and follow the directions given there and elsewhere in the building, you should have few problems in finding your way around. So, if you want books in the social sciences, you'll be directed from the main entrance to the staircases and lifts leading to Area 2, and for medicine and law to Area 3. In the same way, you can follow the signposts which lead to the collections in science and the humanities in Area 1. The ground floor contains the main information desk, which is staffed during term from 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, and from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. The staff who work there on a rota are all subject specialists and will deal with any type of inquiry, either directly or by calling on a colleague with expertise in the subject which interests you. Even if our staff do not know the answers themselves, they will know, and more importantly, they will show you how and where to find them. Take your problem to an information point, and the librarian on duty will show you how to use a library information service terminal in order to find the item you want. If you know exactly what you want, type in the author's surname and a significant word, at least 5 letters long, from the title. If we have the book, its details will then be displayed on the screen. In the case of the present inquiry, the reader wants Change and Tradition in Rural England by Dennis Thompson. He types in Thompson and Tradition, though Thompson and Change or England would have done as well. The book is in stock, and the details given include its shelf number, where you will find it in the library, and the fact that it is on the shelves and available for use. If it had been on loan, you would have been told this and could have asked at the main counter to have it recalled. Once you have the record of the book you want, note where it's kept in the library and its shelf number. It's important, by the way, always to note the whole number, since the second part tells you precisely where it will be found. But what happens if you want information on a subject but don't know who's written about it? Take, for example, the ecology of mammals. In this case, a reader is being helped by our subject specialist in biological sciences. To carry out a subject inquiry of this type, all that's necessary is to type a subject keyword of at least 5 letters into the computer terminal. In this case, ecology or mammals will do. You're then presented with a list of all the titles of books in our stock which include the word you've typed in. Once you've found an item that looks promising, you can change the display so that you're given full details of the book you want. Again, you're told that the book is available on the shelves where it's kept in the library, in this case Area 1, Floor 2, and its full shelf number, 59929S40Q. Make a note of the complete number, and you can now find the book on the 2nd floor. The Library Information Service records are only complete for books added to stock since 1979, though many books added before then are included. For some pre-1979 books, you may need to look in the card catalogue, whose use is explained in information leaflets 27 and 35. Stoddart's book is shelved in Area 1, Floor 2, the science floor. The first impression can be daunting, but wait. Remember the number which you've noted down. Refer with this to the floor guide in the display case, and this will immediately give the range number at which your book is shelved. Numbers 590 to 599 are shelved in ranges 27 to 32. Follow the sequence of these ranges and look at the books on the shelves. They're all arranged in their numerical order. Find your number, 599.29, in that sequence, and there you have your book. To help you find your way around the library, we produce a wide range of guides. You'll be given a starter pack consisting of a folder and a collection of those most relevant to your course. Other guides are available free of charge from all information desks. Once you've found the book you want, take it with your library card to the main counter on the ground floor of Area 1. The counter is clearly marked into two sections, Issues and Returns. Hand the book and your card to the assistant on duty at one of the issue points, and he or she will do the rest. Your loan transaction is recorded on computer file, which means that you have no forms to fill in and no library tickets, apart from your main card, to worry about. In no circumstances must you attempt to remove books from the library without having them properly issued to you. The checkout turnstiles incorporate a detection system, and penalties are, albeit reluctantly, imposed on those who are caught. Returning books could not be simpler. Just present them at the returns point, and our staff will do the rest. We do insist, though, that all books must be returned by the date stamped on the label inside. If you don't bring them back in time, you'll be fined 10 pence a day for each overdue book. The normal loan period is 1 month, though books can be recalled sooner if another reader wants them. If you receive a recall notice, you must return the book straight away, no matter what the date label says. It's worth checking your departmental pigeonhole regularly for recall notices, since a missed notice can cost you an expensive fine. If you can't find an item on the shelves and are absolutely sure that you've looked in the right place, then go to the loans inquiry point. Here we have a direct online access to our computer files and can discover if a book is on loan and to whom. We can also recall it for you. If the book is not on loan and you'd like us to look for it for you, we ask you to work through a simple checklist to make sure that you've taken the proper steps to find it. But please remember that the loans inquiry point is intended to help when you're reasonably sure that you've looked in the right place. If you don't know where to begin looking, then ask at one of the information points. Because some books are in especially heavy demand, usually because they're set texts for undergraduate coursework, they're kept in a separate area with restricted access and are available for one-night loan only. This collection of material is known as the Short Loan Collection and contains about 15,000 very heavily used books and other documents. Material in the collection may be kept there permanently for short loan or may be temporarily placed in the collection at the request of teaching staff. The temporary stock is known as counter reserve. For both short loan and counter reserve stock, the loan's procedure is the same. You first identify the item you want by typing the author's surname and a word from the title into an LIS terminal. When you have found the record you want, which will be identified by the prefix SLC before the number, complete a yellow voucher and hand it with your library card to the staff on duty at the counter. They will obtain the item for you, stamp it with the date for return, and issue it to you through the computer system. When you return your book, you simply hand it to the assistant on duty, who will cancel the loan for you. Books can be borrowed from the short loan collection at any time up to 7 p.m, but because they're in such heavy demand, we ask you to bring them back before 11:45 a.m. on the day that they're due for return. To encourage you to do this, we fine you £1 per day for each overdue item. It would be a mistake to think that the library is a place which you use simply to borrow books for home reading. It's a convenient and comfortable place in which to work, with seating accommodation for about 1,750 readers spread throughout the building. Whatever your subject, you'll find a comfortable working area near to the books and periodicals you need. This leads us to the other vital function of the library, as a major reference collection in all subjects. General reference materials are shelved on the first floor of Area 1. They include the major general encyclopedias, such as Britannica, as well as more specialized works, such as the McGraw-Hill Encyclopedia of Science and Technology. In the humanities and social sciences, reference books are arranged by classification number, but in science and medicine, they're organized into special groupings covering types of material such as research, technical data, and conference proceedings. The Library Information Office, which is also on the first floor of Area 1, is the place you should go if you need help or advice on the use of our reference collections. The staff who work there will also advise you on how best to undertake a literature search, whether manually from printed texts or by computer using an online database. There are online terminals in the office, and staff will undertake searches for you, though you will of course be asked to pay at least part of the cost of this service. Each floor and major area of the library has its own information desk. These desks are always staffed for at least part of the day, and there is a telephone link from them to the ground floor desk to cover periods when they're unmanned. There is at least one LIS terminal near to each desk, and printed information is also provided to help you use the floor or area concerned. As a newcomer to university, you may not be used to non-book materials, such as microfilm and microfiche, but these form an important part of the library's collections for both teaching and research. Sometimes it is only in microform that we can get copies of titles which we could never hope to possess in their original state. Microforms also save us a great deal of shelf space. This is 1 month's issues of the Times on 35mm roll microfilm. Compare it with the space occupied by the same issues, bound and preserved in their original form. Microform copies of printed works will not be found in LIS, but are listed in the card catalogues in exactly the same way as books. They're not given ordinary classification numbers, but are arranged in running number sequences, with alphabetical prefixes such as M for microform and TRC for tape recording. To obtain a microform, ask at the audio-visual office on the first floor. As well as issuing the item to you, the staff who work there will show you how to use a microform reader. The other main function of the first floor is to house the collections of current periodicals in all subjects except law and deaf education. The library subscribes to about 6,500 periodicals in all, divided into the 4 main fields of humanities, social sciences, science and medicine. Within these sequences, material is arranged alphabetically by title, or if the title includes the name of the sponsoring body, by that name. If you have difficulty in finding current periodicals, ask at the periodicals office, which is also on the first floor, to the left of the escalator as you come up. The staff who work there have the records and can tell you where your material will be. All periodicals currently taken are recorded in the library information system and in a computer printout which is available for consultation at all information desks. For those titles which are no longer current, you will need to look in the card catalogue. Once periodicals have ceased to be current, they're bound and then shelved in the subject areas of the library as near as possible to the books to which they relate, and in many cases on the same floor as those books. The Deansgate Building, which is the home of the original John Rylands Library, stands in one of Manchester's busiest shopping streets. It symbolises the close connection which has always existed between the library and the city. John Rylands himself was a 19th century Manchester cotton magnate. His widow, Mrs. Enriqueta Augustina Rylands, built and endowed what is now the Deansgate Building in his memory. The Deansgate Building, which opened in 1900, has been described as the finest example of modern Gothic in Europe. It now contains the library's treasures in the fields of manuscripts, archives, and early printed books, and its unique collections attract scholars from all over the world. The Manuscript Collections contain material in over 50 Western and Oriental languages. They date from the 3rd millennium BC to the present day and are written on virtually all the materials ever used by man for his records. Perhaps the most famous of all is the Rylands fragment of St. John's Gospel, which dates from the 2nd century AD. This fragment of John 18, written in Greek, is the oldest piece of New Testament writing in existence anywhere in the world. The library is also rich in its collections of early printed books, including several thousand items printed before 1500. Especially noteworthy are the St. Christopher woodcut of 1423, which is the earliest piece of European printing whose date is undisputed, and the 36 and 42-line Bibles printed by Gutenberg. To this we could add that we have over 60 Caxtons and over 1,000 Aldines. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. Naturally, books and manuscripts as rare and valuable as these cannot be kept on open shelves and in constant use, but we do hold regular exhibitions to which students are welcomed. We also have a selection of guidebooks, postcards and Christmas cards, which show some of the library's treasures. These are on sale at very reasonable prices in both buildings. If this video has any kind of message, it is that this is your library and we want you to use it. If it seems daunting at first, remember that the staff are there to help and that thousands before you, who may also have felt daunted, have quickly mastered the few basic techniques of effective library use. You have a fine library. Make the most of it.